Good evening. Hello, hello. All right. Okay, so we're painting the cat in the city today with the pumpkin and super whimsical, super cute. Let me know who's here. Say hello. Tell me where you're from. Tell me if this is your first time painting with me or if you are my returning painter. I am super excited for this one. So this is what we're painting. We're painting the cat in the city today. This cutie, this is super cute, I think. I don't know, what do you think? Okay, excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna set this off to the side and we're just going to start. So I do usually use a kind of set um, uh, a set of paints, I would say. But I've been working on something else today. Hi, Ginger. Welcome. Hi, Larissa. Hot Springs, South Dakota. First time. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Cindy. Okay, so I usually use a set kind of palette, right? But I've been working on something. So my palette might look a little bit messy, so please forgive me for that. I just do not want to waste it, okay? There's a whole lot of paint that I do not want to waste. But here's what we're going to be using for this painting. We're going to be using lemon yellow, that's right here, and then primary yellow. We're going to be using a little bit of red and then phthalo blue. And then maybe we'll use some sky blue, a tiny bit sky blue. Don't put it on your plate yet or your palette. Just wait for that. To mix green, we'll mix some green for the leaf. Okay. And then there's white and black. And that's it. All right. I just want to use up these colors before I discard this. And so here we go. We're ready to paint. Okay, I am going to be using flat brushes. I have a medium flat and a small flat. And I also have a medium and a small round brush. I might hop up and grab another brush here or there, but I think this is all we need. I don't think we're going to need anything else here. So feel free to use what you like. Feel free to use your own choice of colors. If you want to change something, do that. And let's just begin and have a little bit of fun here. So I'm going to switch to my desk view. There we go. And we're going to start. No sketch at all. Hello, BC from Omaha. You were neighbors. Thank you. I think it's okay. I am not gonna. BC from Omaha. Are you Brian? Oh, all right. So let's start. And of course, I'm out of white, and that would be like you have. I have the whole thing, right? But not white. Hold on. Let me grab it. Okay. All right, so let me see. I have a dry spot right here, and I'm just gonna put some clean white right on top of that. That's okay. It's not a big deal. All right. So first, I'm going to paint the moon white, and it might seem counterintuitive and everything, but it's very. Sometimes it's hard when you put the sky in and then you put the moon on top. It's very hard to get it to that white. So I'm just gonna go ahead and right on top, I'm gonna start with this crescent moon shape and I'm just gonna paint it white and so that it will keep the space and then it will be easier to paint around it. Doesn't need to be anything super hard. Just kind of work around that. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, of course, but see how it's glistening. You can see it. So do the best you can. It doesn't need to be perfect because we will be adding phthalo blue around it, right? And it will help us to have a spot. But then the phthalo blue that we'll put for the sky, that will help us shape it better. All right. So we just want to set the spot for it. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. Stephanie excited to join the presentation. She's doing it on her iPad because didn't have a chance to get supplies. Oh, that would be fun though. Are you using Procreate, Stephanie? Ooh, I want to see that. That should be fun. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse my brush and we're gonna set the skyline for our city right here. So as you can see, it's just a broken kind of jagged line. Okay, and we're gonna do this with lemon yellow, and we're gonna use a flat brush. So any large flat brush would work just fine. Grab some lemon yellow and we're just gonna start drawing like kind of weird line. It doesn't need to be parallel to the horizon because this is super whimsical. So your lines can be weird. Okay, Ginger says she's using a gift bag. Woohoo! That is fun too. Okay, so you want to be, about this much from the top. So let's just and then go down and here and then go up higher and here and then maybe go even higher. There is another higher building, something like that, and then over here somewhere. Okay, and then we're gonna paint all of this, which is also super counterintuitive, right? But we're gonna paint all of this lemon yellow. Why I'm doing this is because it's a lot easier to paint a yellow background and then add black on top of it than paint a black background and then try and add yellow to it. So this is going to be a background for the city. Don't want to go way too far down, so like stop somewhere halfway. Somewhere halfway should be good. All right, this is good. I'm supposed to use that, Okay, now next step is we're gonna set up the pumpkin, and we're not using the full pumpkin. See, it's kind of a halfway through the pumpkin. So we're gonna use the same brush, same messy brush, grab some white on it, and then grab some lemon yellow, and just go to the middle of the bottom of your canvas and draw an upside down U. Just do the upside down U. like this, and just paint it in. And more white, a little bit more lemon yellow. You're gonna go on the side of that U, right here. Go a little bit higher and just add a side, a rounded side to your pumpkin and bring it in. And then repeat on the other side. Go a little bit up higher, go around. Use the same messy brush, grab a little bit of that warm yellow or maybe primary yellow. Add some of warm yellow to your pumpkin. Work it in, see how you like it. I kind of like it a little bit on the orangish side, but not too much. Wipe your brush off on the paper towel and then just fill in like make your brush look like a chisel tip. See, it's like a chisel tip. And then you can grab a little bit of red or maybe magenta, whatever you have. Just grab a little bit. See, it's hardly on those bristles, very little. And just add that to your ribs like this, and then work that in. Just work this in. And then maybe a little bit more on the outside. Also work it in. Blend it the best you can. And if it's not blending, if it's getting too dry, just grab a little bit more yellow to help you move the paint a little bit. Now, if your edges are getting messy, don't worry about it, because we'll be coming back to this area with black paint and a leaf and everything. So don't worry about it. It doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, I'm grabbing a little bit more red into my brush, adding a little bit more texture to my pumpkin. Don't wanna overwhelm it. Wipe my brush on the paper towel, grab a little bit of white, put it next to that thread, blend it in so that you have a variation of color. And I know sometimes I like to even add like turquoise or something to my pumpkins. So look and see what you would like to add and then just add it and work it in. If you feel that you're pulling your paint with your brush, I would let that dry and then add another layer after. Okay. Alrighty, so this is good. I'm cleaning my brush. Cleaning my brush. Clean, clean, clean. Okay, that's good. So the brush is clean. Now I'm gonna work on my sky over here. So I'm just gonna turn this around so that it's easier for me. And I'm gonna use phthalo blue. And I'm gonna be super careful and work around that moon, okay? So I'm just gonna start working it in from my skyline going up. And when I get close to that moon, I'm gonna switch my brush to the round brush, to the small round, grab some phthalo blue, and outline the moon so that I can just paint the rest. There we go. And see, and the moon's already painted, and so we don't need to worry about it. Paint on the inside. Okay. If you guys have any questions, pop them in the comments. I really do my best to help you with the process the best I can. Obviously, I cannot put my hands on your painting, but sometimes there's questions that I can help with. So just let me know. Just let me know. All right. I am doing my best to line up with the skyline, but really it doesn't really have to be perfect again because this is all super whimsical and things are gonna get outlined on top of it. So if you cannot get the lines exactly where you want them, don't worry about it. Just relax and have fun with this. Oops, see, I made a mess. Wow. Okay, so I have my blue dark sky. Okay, and now I'm gonna use this same messy brush that has a whole lot of phthalo blue on it, and I'm gonna pick up some black on the tips, and I'm gonna bring black from the top of my canvas down a little bit, not much. Just kind of darken it a little bit and super careful around the moon because we do not want it to turn black, right? So, and then I'm gonna wipe my brush off and just use this brush to blend the color. This makes the sky darker blue. That looks more like night sky rather than just dark blue sky. Yeah. Okay. You might want to pay extra attention around the moon, but it's only natural that inside the moon it's a bit lighter. So it's all good. All right. We're gonna let the sky dry, and while the sky is drying, we're gonna use the flat brush, or you can, you know what, use what you like. I'm gonna say that. Use what you like. We're gonna create the city, okay? And I did say flat brush, use your flat brush, but now I'm thinking you might find it easier to use a round brush. So try and see what works for you, okay? What works best. I like my black paint at the consistency of melted ice cream for this. I hope this works and I don't need to grab another one. Yeah, this is still good. So this is just regular black paint and I add a little bit of water to it so that it's a little bit easier, more easy to move because we're gonna draw directly with our brush and just create some fun buildings here, okay? So the first building is this one right here. I don't know, can you see it at all? No, you cannot. Here, okay, this one. This building right here. It's the only kind of full building that we can see. It's this one right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a straight line from this corner, and I'm just gonna take it all the way down and do my best with that. It doesn't need to be super straight, just kind of do it, you know. And then we're gonna go across and over here, because we want to get into that other building a little bit. And then we're going to go down. You can start making like slanted lines if you like that, or just try and go straight down the best you can. Again, doesn't need to be anything perfect. Whoop, sorry about that. Leaned the wrong way. Okay, now this building right here goes up to the side and down. Okay, and I have one building over here which is not going to show very well because it's right next to the edge. I don't know if I'm going to do something about it. I might. Okay, now this on the left, this building is going to go into the other one to show that it sits in front of it. So we're going to go across, stop, now down. And this building is right here. And that's it. No big deal, right? We did this. Perfect. Okay, now we need to create windows. So, be creative. I have some longer windows. See, they're not the same shape. They're all kind of funky. That's the whole thing about it. I really like that. Yeah, like bigger windows, smaller windows, whatever works, whatever works. So I'm gonna try and make bigger windows right here. I'm just gonna pick some areas and just add windows to my buildings. Just with my brush, okay? And then the next layer. The funkier the shapes are, the more irregular they are, the better, okay? And I know it's like, um, our first thing is to try and make them even. They don't need to be even. There. Okay, next I'm gonna add a large window right here. And then maybe a smaller. Maybe two here, just for the fun of it. Like this one is showing behind the building, and this one's right next to it. I do not know who is the city's architect, but they sure know how to have fun with buildings and windows, right? And another more. Okay, now for this building right here, my edge is right here going through. So I'm just going to kind of pretend that there's windows. Like they're gonna shine through a little bit, but there's nothing much to show. Okay, let's go to this house over here on the left. Let's add, I wonder if I can fit three in here. Probably not. Well, if I put them super close together, then I can add three. 1, 2, 3. Mhm. Let's see. We have one more building. Let's put some windows here. And the longer one. And another longer window. And then just some shorter windows. It's like that. And now we're going to paint it black around the windows. So I'm just going to stick with the same brush because it's easier to work around all these little corners. And I'm just going to fill this all with black. And wait, yeah, I think that was the plan here. Tiny windows on the side. Don't worry too much about the bottom. Just kind of paint around it. Might be easier though, I'm thinking might be easier to use a small flat. I'm just gonna switch to small flat. Make sure you clean your brush very well before putting it aside. I don't like leaving my brushes in the water because they just die. And this brush is super old. See how it's it's falling apart. See, it doesn't hold its shape anymore, but it still works. It's fine. Okay, here we go. Flat, small flat, black. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this will be a little bit easier. Get some more black here. Much water on the brush. Okay, so just painting it all black. Okay, All right. So, here we go. Uh-oh, don't fall. Ooh. Okay, so look, I messed up on the one of the windows. I kind of touched it wrong. So I'm just gonna go back and just make it smaller. No big deal. Okay, here we go. Hello, Elaine. Hi, Stephanie. Okay. Okay, I rinsed my brush, but now I'm asking myself, I really don't need to, but it's okay. So now we need a little bit of gray. So we're gonna grab some black and mix it with a good amount of white because we're gonna need to mask that yellow from the pumpkin. We're gonna paint a leaf. So let's make it gray first so that we can mask the pumpkin a little bit. And the way I like, feel free to do your leaf, whatever you like. But the way I like to do it is I start with my kind of middle. I give it the main direction. Okay. And then kind of I start and do it like in a triangle a little bit sort of shape, but the wavy lines kind of. And it goes from here and then to there. So very irregular shape. And I'm gonna just paint it gray. Uh-oh. Just dropped some paint directly on something. It's okay. Okay, try not to overthink it. Just, make some leafy shape and put it on there and paint it. Go. And if you still can see like a lot of color shining through, you can always add a little bit more black. Just a little bit more black into that gray. Make it a little bit darker. Uh, to give it even color. All right, this can dry. You can leave it to dry. Rinse your brush very well and then dry it off on a paper towel. You do not want to have any drip water here. Let's work on those windows a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab some of that primary yellow on my brush. And then I take the excess off on the side so that I have very little paint on my brush. It's almost dry brush. And I'm going to go ahead and add some kind of orangish highlight spots, you can say, into my windows. And if this brush is too big for some of the windows, I'll switch it to the small round. So I'm gonna do the larger windows with this brush and just add a little bit of color to my windows. Super easy, doesn't need to be anything hard. And then for the small brushes, for the small windows, I'm just gonna use my broken up round brush. Same way, grab some paint, wipe it off on the side, and then easy does it, right? Easy, light touch. Just add a little bit of color to those windows. Okay, we still need that that leaf to dry, so I'm gonna flip my canvas over. Just go all the way upside down. Oops. Okay, that can sit here. All right, so I'm gonna flip my brush wrong side, to the wrong side, and I'm gonna put some dots with my paint on here for my stars. Not too many, just a few. Just repeating maybe. Don't want to have too many because we'll be adding things too. Wipe this off and then flip your brush around and use the tip of your round brush and drag the inside of your circle in 4 directions, so that you're kind of making a star. And I don't do that for every circle, so maybe pick a few. It would just make it look like stars. I think this brush decided that it's time to retire because it does not hold itself. I'm gonna need to find another one. I have another one, I just need to pull it out. So there, something, and maybe one here. And then you can use the same brush, grab a little bit of white, rub it off on your palette so that you almost have like a dry brush, and just go around your crescent moon and add a little bit of glow to it, a little bit of a glow. Another way, oh, I picked up some blue here. That will make it an interesting glow. Yeah. Don't be afraid of making it messy. It's supposed to be messy. I'm gonna flip this over. Okay. I'm rinsing it out because I picked up some blue and I don't want any blue on my brush right now. While we're still waiting, we can work on highlights in the windows. So round brush, some white, and just add a little highlight in your window. Just like one streak of light. It doesn't need a lot at all. And then for the big windows, I like to add 2 or 3 streaks, like on the same, in the same kind of location for the window. It's just fun, changing things up a little bit. Ginger's asking me how I made the star effect. We did a dot with the paint. You just make a dot, and then you use your liner brush and you drag the paint in 4 directions from the center. Okay? All right, how is this doing? This is getting there. All right, this is perfect. So let's mix some green color. A little bit of sky blue, and I think that's the only thing that we need the sky blue for. And in your lemon yellow, and then if it's not green enough, you can always grab some more blue. There, and that makes pretty decent green. If you want your green to be more like emerald, like closer to emerald, you can always grab a touch of phthalo blue, and that will make your leaf darker green. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm just gonna paint this whole leaf. And as I'm finishing, I'm trying to drag my paint from the outside of the leaf into the center so that I have those strokes shaped in the direction that I want it to be. Okay. Ginger, you're welcome. BC is asking me, can you do stars with more than 4 points? Of course. Would be a different style of a star, but you sure can. All right, let's rinse that brush. And let's work on the cat. So for the cat, I'm gonna use my round brush, my medium size round brush, and I'm gonna use black paint. So let's add some more to here. And maybe some more water. Just filling up my brush. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with making a number 8. You know, like if you think about it, there is an 8 right here. Can you see it? Yeah? And the cat's head is the small top of the 8, and the cat's bottom is the bottom of the 8 that's a bit wider. So I suggest to start with a like more narrow one, and then you can always add a little bit more if you want to. So, and his head is going to be about here, and his butt is going to be about here. So I'm kind of trying to, and the head is about 1/3 of the 8, and the butt is about 2/3 of that 8. So kind of start with number 8. And if you're dragging some green paint through it, no big deal, because we're gonna add some more layers to it, so it's all good. Okay, paint it in. All right, then the right side of the skit is a little bit more pronounced on the side. So I'm going to make this 8 a little bit more rounded on the right side. Just coming from his head, rounded, and then just round it on the side. Go slow, don't rush. And then it's a little bit elongated over here on this side, so I'm going to go around and make it a little bit more straight coming into his head. So I'm going around and then coming directly into his head like this. See? Okay. Now I'm gonna add this cheek over here. Do you see how his cheek, it kind of stands out a little bit over here? So I'm just gonna just add a cheek. Whoa, there we go. Add a cheek. And I'm gonna switch. No, not switch, save this one. But I need my round brush that just broke and died on me. Let me see. I know I have another one. Just need to find it. Perfect timing, right? Always perfect timing. My round brush is always falling apart so quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one. It's fine. Do that. Okay, so on the left side, I'm gonna extend from his face a little bit, oh, a little bit out and into his body, and that is his one ear. And just paint it in. Didn't help that I just put my finger into it. Let's fix that. Made a mess a little bit. Oh well. Okay, and then I'm gonna add another ear coming from up here. There we go. And let's add his tail. The tail kind of starts not exactly. I'm gonna grab a white dot over here. It's not on his bottom, okay? It's a little bit up higher, right here. Can you even see it? Here, white spot. You see it? That's where his tail starts, okay? So I just like to start there and go up and give it a nice, kind of nice rounded fluffy tail. And that tail is going to come to the bottom of his body right here. And so there's his tail. And of course, we're going to paint it in. Lift it a little bit so you can see. Yeah. Okay, now let's take the next couple minutes and paint the whole background. So whatever's left that's white needs to be painted black. So I'm just, because I have this brush full of black paint, I'm just going to use it. And I'm going to carefully work around the pumpkin. Create my edge. And then paint around it. Okay, and then I have a little bit to fill in on the other side. I think I'm going to make this line my horizon line right here, right through here. So go carefully around the leaf. Around the pumpkin. There we go. Okay, this city is super close to the cat. I think I brought it a little bit too low. So I'm gonna fix that. I am going to fix that. All right, so my horizon line, or whatever the line separating right here, this line needs to be up higher a little bit. So I am just going to find a ruler super quick so you can see what I'm doing. Here, this will work. And add kind of the line a little bit up higher. So I'm going to add this line up here. Guess I'm going to lose some windows, but that's okay. And I'm just going to paint this black. so that I have my line. Okay, so I have distinct distance between the pumpkin and the city. There, that worked well, right? Okay, let me know how you're doing. Are you done with your cat? What's happening? What's happening? How are you doing? Clean my brush. Okay, so next step, it's gonna be making, we're gonna use, what are we gonna use? We're gonna use, oh, we need to make some dark green, and I already used all of my green. Well, let's make some more green. And you get some more green, so I have this lemon yellow. I'm just gonna grab some of this sky blue, goes directly into that. That's nice green right here. Touch of black to that. We want it darker than this. Super dark. I want it super dark. Yeah. Okay. And now this color. This is the background. This is the field, so to speak. So we have that line separating the cat and the pumpkin from the city. And in my original painting, this area is a little bit darker than this green still. So if you want to make it even darker, go ahead. Feel free to do that. You can just add some more black to it, but I think this is good. I like it. That's where you can see the difference, that it's different area, right? Okay, now I'm gonna go on the other side and I'm gonna do my best and not paint that tail. So I'm just going around here. And if I did paint the tail, you know what? No big deal. No big deal because it's black, so you can just grab more black paint and cover it up, which is probably what's gonna happen anyway. Alright, here we are. Ginger says her pumpkin is way too small. You can make it larger. Extend it maybe. So maybe add one more pumpkin on the side. I don't know what your composition looks like, but you can, if it's way too small, you can add like a, if you have a small pumpkin here, you can add another big one on the side, maybe. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab even more black, add it to this green over here that we have, one that's super, super dark, so that I can see that it's different, right? And I'm gonna add that curly Q right here, coming from here. So I'm just gonna go and into the pumpkin, get my paint. Like a corkscrew. So this is a small one. This is small. Now I'm gonna add a bigger one. Well, it would be like a medium, a big, and then on the bottom you can make a really tiny one, and then kind of goes into nowhere. I can fix that. Okay. Now let's make some gray, and we're gonna use this gray for outlining things. So we do not want it way too dark. We want it on the lighter side, but we don't want to outline things with just white. Okay. Voila. All right, let's start outlining. Let's start with the buildings. So I'm gonna start with the one that's all the way up front, right here. It sits in the front, so its walls are getting a nice outline full way. Okay, now look, I have the get stale right here, so I'm gonna outline it so I don't miss it. Okay, so I don't put the building wall through the cat's tail, right? I'm gonna jump over it because the cat's tail is in front of it, so it kind of covers it. See what I mean? Okay, and then we have this building right here. And as I told you, I am not even trying to be careful and like paint straight lines and all of that. That's a whole different story here. Okay, and there is this building moving off to the side. Let's see. There's this building right here. Okay. As a child of 90s and 60s and or not 60s, I'm not that old, but you know, doesn't matter. Like for me, Skyline should have some antennas. So that's why I have antennas. And I try to add more than just like this because I don't want it to look like a cross. This is not a this is not a religious painting for me, so I do not want to do that. Just kind of random, and like they can be leaning over and like be weird and have different shapes. Not shapes, but like not all are perpendicular. They can have different direction, I guess, for those things. And I'm going to outline the cat. So I'm going to start with the ear and the other ear in here. And then I'm going to go above his head, add a little bit of hair sticking like that. And then from the ear, from this ear, it's pretty much straight. Not straight, but kind of curvy down to his side over here, and then stop because light, you know. And this ear, and around his cheek, and his body. Okay, now that is the bottom of his head. That is his spine right here. And that is the top of his tail. And the bottom of his tail doesn't get any highlight because it's on the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to outline my pumpkin leaf. And since my paint's not gliding the way I like it, I'm adding a little bit of water to it. Okay, now the middle of that leaf and the veins, and I kind of like to make them not straight but kind of wiggly. Remind me, you know what they remind me of? They remind me of deer. What are they called? Oh my gosh, horns, not horns. Oh, here we go. We're starting to forget the words again. It's nothing new. Okay, here we go. Okay, now we're gonna go and add some highlights to your pumpkin. So remember the first upside down you'd put in, that is gonna outline that. So these two are doing that. And then of course we have the other two sides, right? Do not paint across don't paint through the curly Q, kind of jump over it a little bit. Okay, now let's add the highlight to that curly Q, goes on the top, and then you stop. Kind of curl it in, and then you kind of bring it over. And then again, and bring it over. There you go. So that you can see it. Antlers, antlers, Stephanie, thank you. Oh my goodness. Right? All right, now let's paint that line in between the city and the field. Does not go across the cat, right? There we go. Okay, add a little bit of grass. here and there. Here and there. Maybe another here. We're just gonna keep the spot, right? To keep the spot. Okay, rinse your brush, and we're gonna add a couple more white highlights, and that's it. So we're gonna use clean white and put some clean white right on top of the highlight, that not the highlight, the outline for the buildings right on top. It doesn't look like snow because it's not enough, but it does look like there is light from that moon. It just kind of brings things up a little bit. Not much, you don't need a lot. Add a little bit of white on top of those antenna thingies. And what else? Oh yeah, and a little bit of white on top of this curly Q, just a little bit, not much. And of course you can add a couple of white streaks on your pumpkin. I didn't have it in my original painting, so I'm not gonna do it, but you can add some white highlights to that. Okay, Stephanie had to look it up. Oh my gosh, this makes me feel much better. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm like, oh, my brain does it to me. Especially like in the evening, I get tired and it just happens, you know? It just happens. Okay, so I guess my ta-da moment, I really like my ta-da moment because I like to take off my tape and I do not want to run the hair dryer to warm it up. I just don't want to do that. So I guess I'm just ripping it off, right? Just rip it off. So yeah, once you're done, you sign your painting. And if you're in my group, if you're in Paint with Luba group, I would love for you to post it and share it with the group. What else? What else? Don't forget to like the video if it's okay. There we go. And done. Right? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time. Next time we're painting pumpkins in watercolor. And then we have, let me see, it's in this book so I can just show you. And we have this coming in November. I'm looking forward to this. And I don't know, you tell me, guys. Would you like to learn how to do this? Tell me, I don't know. I'm kind of deciding if I want to do a class on that one. And that is also going to be something that's coming up soon. So yeah, subscribe, join my mailing list. Don't forget, it's just lubacarlson.com. Go lubacarlson.com. And join my email so that you get all the news about what's happening. Okay? And I will see you next time when we paint something. Oh, and of course I put it on wet paint. I shouldn't do that. That was not a good idea. I thought it was dry already. All right. Okay. Bye.